Happy Valentine's Day, buddy.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh my goodness. What a special, special day.
Yep, it's just like every other day, except
Right.
we call this one Valentine's Day.
Correct. I see you're drinking from a Skyline cup there.
Yes,
Did you
yeah,
have a three-way today?
um, of course, uh,
Good.
and it was extra messy, just the way I like my three ways.
Yeah. It's the only way they really get. It's messy.
Yeah, and with cheese,
Mm,
um, always cheese.
well, I don't know that you can get a three-way without cheese. I think you have to have, I mean, like you could
Well, you can
say,
get like beans and onions and noodles.
right, right. You could say three-way bean. And then they'd be like, what?
A three bean,
Yeah.
a
Anyway,
three bean casserole.
for those who are not from this very specific region, we're talking about a local chili parlor that serves spaghetti and meat sauce, and they're called Three Ways. And we'll get into that later. Do a little research on Cincinnati style chili. It's a whole thing. It's Grecian
Yeah,
chili. It's meat sauce. Oh
it's
man,
apparently a lot of people don't like it.
yeah, no, it's a very regional thing. Like if you grew up eating it, then yeah, then you're in. And there's a few people who are transplants who've moved here. It's like it's less than 50% of people who move here like it.
Yeah.
But I'd say 80 to 90% of people who are born here will eat it. who are meat eaters, who already qualify in that
Yes.
genre. Yeah.
I think don't they have like a veggie three-way as
Yeah, they
well,
do.
like
It's all right.
vegetarian thing?
It's all right.
Hmm.
So, did you do anything special with your significant other?
I mean, so Valentine's Day I feel like is
Complete bullshit.
yeah, yeah. To put it lightly, I guess.
100%. Yeah. 100%.
So yeah, I mean, Andreas worked. I told him
Mm-hmm.
Happy Valentine's Day,
Mm-hmm.
and he's in bed now.
Yep.
So
Yep.
we already have one person in chat who now wants a three-way. That's another.
Because obviously they're from Cincinnati. Like,
Yes. Well, it's one of those things where if you talk about it, you suddenly want it. Like
absolutely,
whether
100%.
you like it or not,
Yeah.
you just need it.
And so, Demi the Drag Queen has chimed in. Thank you very much, Demi. With saying it's a bullshit holiday, and I'm not saying that because I'm single to edit the comment.
Yeah,
Um,
fixed it.
yeah, no, like it's even more bullshit. It's bullshit for so many reasons, but like it just I don't know. It's dumb and makes it's just a consumer holiday.
Because, like, I mean, at the end of the day, if you love somebody, it doesn't matter what fucking day it is.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'm the kind of person where, like, I'm like the stupid kind of romantic where I'll see trash, like literal trash, and I'll like pick it up and be like, "Oh, this made me think of you."
Yeah, you will. Yeah.
And like random objects,
Mm-hmm.
like that kind of thing. I like to
The way
get
that
gifts.
light switch clicked really remind me of that thing you said the other day.
Yeah. But yeah, so like I kind of litter those out throughout the year. Valentine's Day, I feel like because it's Valentine's Day, everybody's doing things. It's hard to go out to restaurants, like because
Mhm.
you have to get a reservation, all this stuff. Just do something nice some other day during the week.
100%.
So yeah, not to like shit on the holiday. This is our special Valentine's Day
Well,
episode.
like unless it's your anniversary or there's some special sentiment tied to February 14th, fuck you. Like don't like it's not like you don't get to claim a day. You know,
Yeah,
unless you're Cupid, then you can be like, okay, well, that's my day. That's what I do.
I would pay money to see you dressed up as Cupid.
A lot of people would. I'm what if a cherub made a lot of horrible decisions, this is what you'd end up with. This is just a diaper and a sash and a fucking like the tiniest of little bows.
It needs to be like
just minuscule. Like this is me stretched out as far as I can go. Yeah, 100%.
Maybe
I
next
will do
Valentine's
that.
Day that'll be a thing.
We can set a goal. We can set a goal right now. We can call from the audience or whatever you want to do. Let's set a dollar amount to get me in a Cupid outfit.
So speaking of ways that we celebrate Valentine's Day,
yeah,
Demi the drag queen wrote in and said, "I'm a hopeless romantic, and I don't need a certain holiday to go all out for the person I love. When I'm with someone, I would love to give them gifts here and there because it's something they wanted or saw something that reminded me of them." So Demi, you and I, we're one of the same. It seems like we do the same kind of thing, but I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it also depends on your love language. I mean, whether you want to cook meals for them all day or shower them with gifts or whatever it is, whatever, your acts of service or your physical affection, whatever. Like I love and I love my partner, and sometimes I'm just in the mood to fucking just go do stupid shit for him all the time, and sometimes just like, yeah, I love you. Okay, bye. I'm off to work now.
Like, all right, this is
yeah,
you
right.
get it. You get the idea.
As soon as they start touching me, I'm like, yeah, let's go. All right, here we are. But day to day, I can't. No one can operate on a switch and be like, all right, it's time to love you all the way now. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you notice, or do you have the same phenomenon in which your love language kind of like changes? Do you go through love language phases?
I mean, I have my so it's dependent on the relationship and the partner. Like, I'm married to my partner, and so like we kind of just we have our own rhythm. We both know each other's love languages. And I'm not trying to like, just this information is what it is. Like, I'm very big into physical affection, like cuddling and holding and smooching and whatnots. Is the way I like to receive love, and I like to give it that way too. But I'm also big into acts of service. Like, I love to cook for my partner, and I'm also big into words of affirmation. Anyways, but I like to. I'm a big physical touch, and they're not always into the physicality of it. Like in the bedroom,
receiving or giving.
Giving. Like,
okay.
In the bedroom, we're fine. It's like when I just want to like steal a smooch in the middle of the day, I can get away with a peck, but I can't. There's no making out, and that's fine. Like, it's like it is what it is, because that's not their love language, and also they're not ready. Like, they've got their mind on other things, but when they're ready, when they've put all those things to bed, they are ready to receive they're ready to give me their undivided attention. I'm always trying to steal their attention away from whatever it is they're doing, because I deserve all of it all the time.
Well, I mean, that's true.
But we have children, Stephen. It's not possible. It's just not. It's not tenable.
Well, that's fair. But I mean, there are people you can pay to take care of that.
Wow. Well, babysitters. Got it.
Hitmen. Jesus.
So
babysitters, yeah.
So to short story long, yes, my love language has shifted. Like, we fell in love, and we're still in love, and we've learned each other's love languages and just kind of fit into that groove. Like, it wasn't like a perfect like synchronous match right away. Like, it was just like we were slowly we're constantly still putting the puzzle together and reevaluating things and shaking it up and figuring out what works, what doesn't work, and what we like, what we don't like. After so many goddamn years.
Well, that's good, and
Yeah.
it's nice that you're able to continue to have that conversation too.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I asked is like I've experienced, like, I have my default love languages, like for how I like to show love. Oftentimes it's like gift giving,
Mm-hmm.
and like little surprises. Like I like the idea of somebody coming home and seeing like, oh, here's a thing that you didn't expect. Um, so that's like my giving love language, and then receiving love language is definitely like physical affection, like the snuggles and cuddles and
Mm-hmm.
uh, things like that. So yeah, but I have noticed that depending on the partner, it'll kind of like I'll alter my love language just to sort of mesh with them a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like we have a similar-ish experience with that. Um,
Because love language doesn't supersede love.
yeah,
You
and
know, I
it's
mean,
it's like it's like we have uh, our first language,
mm-hmm.
and then you can still speak other languages,
Right,
and you can
right.
still communicate.
If it didn't work, it obviously would not have worked thus far. Like we would have been done a long time ago if we weren't getting that, or we're just in, we're gluttons for punishment kind of thing, and we're miserable. You don't seem miserable. I know I'm not miserable. I know Andreas treats you well. Or I'll beat him up. I'll give him the business.
Or you'll pay someone to take care of that.
Ooh, yeah, I'll pay somebody to take care of it. Yes, yes, Gabe, this is live. Fuck it, we're doing it live.
This is live. Anything can happen.
Yeah, right.
I can take my shirt off. I'll do it.
Oh. So, speaking of Valentine's Day, I did have a thought earlier today. I was commenting to a friend. I work downtown, and there's lots of sex workers downtown, and I hadn't seen any for a while because it's cold. But I was like, you know what? I bet I'm going to see a lot today. I feel like this is probably a busy day for sex workers.
Oh
And
yeah.
sure enough, I saw like 3 or 4 on the way home.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice. I'm glad that people are able to find what they need.
Yeah. Right. I assume. Yeah, this is like a big. It's like a St. Patty's Day for a bar kind of thing. Well, if I'm gonna treat myself, it's gonna be today.
That's kind of interesting. I wonder if like they like mark on their calendar like this is the day that I should make sure that I uh stake my claim on the corner.
Right. I gotta get out early before Gretchen gets out there.
Gretchen.
Yeah, Gretchen. That's right. I'm sticking by
Uh, now,
Gretchen and cinnamon. Yeah,
I don't mean any offense to anyone out there named Gretchen. It just
you're you're a grandma. You're absolutely someone's grandma.
you're. It just the word just sounds like
It's got the word wretch in it.
Yeah.
It's not good.
It's got wretch in it. You just can't ignore that.
No, you
I would
cannot.
like someone could be the most attractive individual in the universe, and then if they like lean in and they're like, "I'm Gretchen," I just can't. I can't do it. I'm sorry.
Damn, who's that hot person over there? Oh, that's Gretchen.
Gretchen.
Gretchen. Oh, that's my fucking new drag name, Gretchen.
I think if anyone can find success with the name Gretchen, it would be you.
Thanks, buddy.
You could overcome that barrier.
For all the Gretchens out there.
So, not to change the subject or anything, but
Yeah.
I have a question.
Sure.
I need some advice.
Ooh.
Okay.
Well.
So I'm going to start this with a story. Recently, I had a little rendezvous with an individual who shall not be named because I haven't told them that I'm going to tell people about this.
The pause there was fucking brutal. I had a little rendezvous with
What?
somebody. Haven't told them. What?
They don't know.
You don't know that?
They don't know that I
Oh
was there.
no. Okay. You
But
had
no,
a
so
rendezvous.
I had a rendezvous, and long story short, I was like asking, what they were into, what they wanted to do, and they asked me to choke them,
Yep.
and I, I like was just like, yep. Uh, I I was like, okay, all right, let's do this, and then they're like, okay, and then I got scared,
Mm-hmm.
because I really did not want to hurt them.
Sure.
I was concerned,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and I was like, we need like some kind of like a safe word or a safe gesture or
Mm-hmm.
something. And they were like, no, 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 I trust you, and I'm like, I was like,
No, no, it's
no,
fine.
you don't understand. Uh, uh, I need to know, like, when do I stop? Like, I've never choked anyone sexually before. Um,
Wait, non-sexually?
well, I mean,
You don't seem like the choking kind.
I ran into some Gretchens in the past.
Sure.
um, but anyways, so we settled on 3 taps.
Yeah.
Because I figured a safe word might be hard if they're choking.
Uh-huh.
Um, so
Correct.
some forethought there.
Yep.
I was proud of myself. But anyway, so I went to choke them, and they seemed like they enjoyed it and everything. But the whole time, I was very worried because, like, I've never done it before, and I was just genuinely concerned that I was going to cause like permanent damage
Sure.
or like leave some kind of like a mark, which I guess a mark is fine, but like I don't know how. Basically, my question is,
I will not help you hide a body.
if they are lying on the floor in the other room right
Right.
now,
Yeah.
um, who should I call, and how big of a hole should I dig?
So what's
Um,
your question?
so, do you have any experience with sexual choking? And if you do, are there do you have like any advice for how to do it safely? Like the positioning was something that I was really worried about. Like that kind of thing. Like I think I did okay, but I don't want to go into this blind again.
Okay. So, yes, tapping is important. Um, because a word isn't going to happen. um, you don't want to crush the windpipe. You don't want to press in. You want to squeeze.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You
Okay.
want to apply a little bit of pressure, like uh, but you can cause real damage if you're just like fucking going in straight in, yeah, like a
Like a
karate.
kung fu movie just
You want to squeeze, and you'll feel some like veins and some pipes in there, and you just get a good grip on that. Like it's all dependent on your partner, and but yes, first off, don't push in, just squeeze. That's number one from the
okay.
research I've done. Um, Tapping is important. I wouldn't necessarily say 3 taps, just tapping. Like because tap until the person stops. Really,
Well, I was
like
the reason for the 3 taps. My logic was like if there's like 1 tap, that can happen on accident. And like 2 taps, maybe like if we're like moving, motions and shit. But like 3 taps in rapid succession, it's
I
harder for
just
that to be an
for
accident.
anybody on the spectrum out there, I don't want to be like, well, they tapped 4 times, so clearly they want me to keep going. I would recommend you say tap until I have your attention, because what I do after enough of the waltz with a partner, you what I do currently is when my partner taps, I let go a little bit, like I let go mostly, but I still keep my hand there, because generally they just want to not pass out. They don't want necessarily the sensation to stop. Sometimes, but I will basically allow them to breathe. They will let me know that they want to be able to communicate or breathe, and so they just a few times. It's usually it's three, but importantly, it's always tap until you've communicated what you need to communicate. And if it's your first time dancing with a partner, you want to fucking make sure there's clear cut boundaries. So three, whatever. I'm harboring too much on the three. It's more about just making sure you communicate.
Okay.
As far as a good position, there's a few, but really it's about like that. That's going to vary dependent on your size, your partner's size, and like as far as height and like just. But yeah, so positioning is going to vary. Like doggy style with one person is different from doggy style with another person, just because of different height differences and different venues, different furniture and equipment. I have quite a few favorites that I like to lean to and try and go to. I like to have one hand choking and the other hand masturbating with my partner. Um, there's a lot. There's a lot. The behind is difficult. When if you're going at them from behind and you're just choking from behind, you can use different things, but that's you want to like I like to use like my shirt or that kind of stuff. But again, like I don't choke as much when I've got a shirt or something because I don't have that immediate
You don't have control over that as much as your hand.
I do, but I don't have I can't sense a reaction. Like,
oh, okay.
Like if I have to be a lot more attentive because I don't have that physical touch right there to feel what's going on with them. There's a barrier between us. So above all else, safety first. If you don't know what you're doing, definitely ease into it. Don't just, if you really want to do it, that's great, but please use the lens of safety and precaution.
See, that was a big concern for me going into it because I was very upfront with them. I was like, I've never done this before.
Yeah.
I want to do this for you, but like, how should I do it?
Right, and so I'm just just real quick, and then I'll let you go. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Fuck, I lost it. It basically, like the first time you do it, like just like sex, the first time you do it, it's not going to be the most sexy and amazing experience. It'll be exciting and fun, but you're still learning. So you have to practice a few times with that same partner to be able to figure out your rhythm and what thresholds are and things like that.
I was terrified. Like,
sure,
I feel like there's something weird about like a nervous dom. So I was just like, oh, okay. I'm gonna choke you. Like, it's just like awful. But
like there's not a lot that can shake me. So I will, for my, for putting on that, for lack of a better word, performance. Like in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh shit! Like, oh god, am I gonna hurt him? But up front, I'm like, yeah, you're goddamn right. Like, I'm doing this to you, and you like it. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh god, was that too much? Oh shit! I don't ever want to peek behind. I don't want everybody to peek behind the curtain, but you have to have that. I think to be safe. Like there has to be that concern. If you're just there's been times I'm just primal and into it and I'm just fucking a monster. But there's still safe words that exist and I can be like, oh, okay. All right. Got it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
So just to recap,
mm-hmm.
How to choke safely.
Yeah.
1, safety taps.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that you can communicate without needing your voice.
Yep.
2, squeeze, don't push. Yes? No.
Yeah.
For the the audio listeners, I was doing gestures with my hand. But basically, squeeze, don't push. Yeah. Which that's good to know because I guess we lucked out because I was squeezing. But
the person who was getting, if you're pushing, they would be like, all right, stop. Like, because it's going to hurt. Like, it's going to hurt in not a fun way.
See, like, I was kind of doing movements to give like an illusion of like more aggressive squeezes than not,
Mhm.
like like doing like movements but without actually moving.
So your
It's hard to
screen was frozen,
demonstrate.
so you like the screen was frozen, so you were all just
Oh no.
yeah, right. It was pretty funny.
I,
I have another addendum to this whole list.
okay, okay.
For extra added sexy time, depending on their particular kink. Usually, it's just due to lack of control and also a bit of airplay. Basically,
Okay.
it's not only choking, but you can also shove things in their mouth. Underwear is a good one, and also just holding their mouth. Like I usually don't like I hold their mouth and their nose, but not like completely. And that's this one that one requires a lot of trust because this is like a big safety, like that'll give somebody anxiety real fast. But so once you've developed that level of trust and or you've communicated that, covering someone's mouth, and I just give me a little gaps of air occasionally just to make sure that everybody's safe and above board.
That's
But if you
cool.
throw that shit in there, oh yeah, that's a yeah.
I did cover their mouth a little, but like it wasn't like fully because I had like a finger going
Yep,
in as well.
yep.
So it
There you
was
go.
like,
Yeah, see,
and then
yeah.
that actually kind of gave them some room to breathe too, in a way. So it
What are
was
you
kind of,
doing over here, bud?
I'm
What are
just,
you doing What are your
just another
demonstrations about?
episode
What
of
are you
this here
showing us
show.
here, Stephen?
So yeah, this is
So
choking.
they were just like the
So anyways, so point number 3, position to accommodate needs and desires. Um, which I guess is a given, but still.
yeah position's gonna vary wildly. Like
Yeah,
that's hard to
body size, what each person is into, what parts of each other you want to have access to, uh,
mhm.
that kind of thing.
Yeah,
But above all, number 4 is have safe fun.
that's right.
Safe being the more important thing. I mean, still have fun, but have safe fun.
Yeah, and it's okay if it's not the sexiest thing in the world at first.
It's
You
never
know,
the sexiest thing in the world at first.
not at first, but over time.
It's like a
Yeah,
fine wine.
something like that.
You just keep it in the cellar, chained up against the wall.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, thank you for sharing your input. I
Yeah.
figured that you've choked some people before.
Yeah.
I had a hunch.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing. I will implement some of those things
Sure.
in my next go around.
Absolutely.
I'm just really glad that I didn't push.
Right. Right.
I'm glad that that was uh my instinct was to squeeze. That's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, because you know what, like, the old chop to the throat, everybody's had an inadvertent chop to the throat at some point. You know, it fucking sucks. So, that's not sexy. Like,
Just, everybody's been chopped in the throat at least once.
right. It's by something on accident. Yeah. Everybody's caught something to the neck. Um, I'm sure there's somebody out there who likes that, and that's great for them, but they're going to crush their fucking windpipe. But as long as they've got a safe way to have fun, go for it.
Oh,
I would,
there's a thing that I've seen a lot of online, and uh, what is this called? Trigger warning. Um,
what's
ball pain.
I, yeah.
So skip ahead an iota if you don't want to hear about this. But so there have been a strange amount of people, like an unusually large amount of people recently who have reached out about like ball play, but specifically like they want me to like kick them in the balls, step on their balls, stomp on their balls, like take things and crush their ball. Like how I don't understand how that can be a route. Like it.
So what I always tell, what I stumbled across this phrase, and it's it's not for me to I don't get it, but I don't have to. Like it's not if I don't understand that's okay. Like as long as they're safe. No, I don't see how they can be safe and do
Yeah,
that.
how do you safely crush somebody's
I
balls?
don't know. Like I've seen high heels driven into testicles, and I'm like, there's blood, and that's not safe.
There's blood.
There's blood, and that's not safe. So I do not understand how
Is
that
that
could be.
damage permanent?
I don't know. I don't know.
Do balls regenerate?
Like it's much like an callback to an earlier episode. It's like the cutting off your dick. Like I don't imagine you can do that a lot with your balls and have like it's get or like you can maybe do once every 5 years after they're fully healed or something. I don't know if you were saved up for surgery to get them fixed up.
I just can't. Like some of the things that this person was describing, I was just like, it immediately gives you that stomach feeling just thinking about it. I can't.
Yeah, I will gladly kick somebody in the nuts.
See, I don't know if I can do if I don't like them, sure, but like
I don't. If you want me to kick you in the junk, I will do that.
no, please don't.
No, please don't. Not you. The royal you. Anybody out there?
Oh, okay.
I'll do it for free, probably.
If I were royalty, I don't think I would want you to do it.
Right. But yeah, as far as like any kind of like beyond that, that's rough. And yeah, I mean,
see, Imagine McNamee writes in and says some people just really love pain, but safe pain. There's a line.
Oh.
I don't think there's anything safe about literally crushing balls.
When there's like
it can be consensual, yeah, but safe.
When there's hitting involved in sexy BDSM time, you still avoid vital organs. Like you don't hit them where it's going to. But yeah, and even in consensual, it's all fine. But safe. How do you be safe and hurt someone's testicles?
Yeah, that's like sacred ground. Your body is a temple. Your balls are temples.
Your balls are temples. No. But seriously, like how I'm trying to justify, like, because it's an organ, like it's a reproductive organ. It's not, you can live without it. But
at that point, why would you? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Jesus.
I'm just kidding. But God, like I genuinely believe that everyone should have the right to hurt themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that's fine. So like yeah, even if it does damage somebody, if it's legitimately what they want, I think that's fine. But it's just very difficult for me to imagine a scenario in which somebody doesn't immediately regret it, and that scares me. Like I don't want to.
The videos I have watched, they seem to like I am. There's obviously it's not a snuff film that I'm watching. Like this person is consenting to this, and these dominatrixes are just going to town on these guys' fucking testicles.
Yeah, I can't. I just can't.
Now imagine McNamee also writes in, I don't think it'll be crushing, but like biting balls and kicking isn't so bad.
Now these videos, it's crushing.
I've seen crushing, and I've seen high heels pierce skin in the testicular area. Okay, so that's not safe. But now you said biting balls. Now I would not want anybody to bite my testicles, but to nibble, just a little,
like chew
some of that. I think
to chew on them,
just a little, like
bubble gum, bubble balls.
No, not bubble gum, because you mash bubble gum. Just like I don't know, just roll them around in there, you know? Yeah,
Just
yeah.
like it's like a cow just
Yeah,
blah blah
yeah,
blah.
sure.
God. Um, Imagine McNamee also says, but also I don't have balls. Maybe it's sort of like the people who like to be shocked with electricity.
Have you had a pap smear where they take your boobs and bring them into the next room? No, that's not. Is that a pap smear? What's the one with the
With the
with the
thing that
mat?
squeezes your tits?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think that's a wait, is that a
Mammogram.
we're so out of it.
Pap smears,
Um,
yeah. But what am I, no, a mammogram is the booby squeezing.
for the longest time when I was younger, uh, so keep in mind this is coming from somebody who used to think that a placenta was a Christmas flower. Uh,
Chrysanthemum,
the
placenta.
poinsettia is what I was
Okay,
getting mixed up. But I used to think that a pap smear
yeah,
was a celebration.
sure.
Like, oh, I was
Yeah.
invited over to Jimmy's pap smear.
So imagine, okay, so a mammogram, like from
Mammogram.
every breast owner that I've ever spoken with, a mammogram is not pleasant. They are, I mean, neither is a pap smear, but they are squeezing your titty and like just like doing horrible things to a titty that should not be done to a titty, all in the name of science and your health. Um, is that roughly accurate? Imagine that they are squeezing your titty like nobody's
Is it
business and
titty
it
or is
hurts.
it whole boob? I thought it was whole boob.
Oh, pause.
What?
What the fuck do you think a titty is, Stephen?
I thought a titty was like literally the tit. Like, am I wrong? If a tit is called a tit, T-D, you just add a D at the end, and all of a sudden it's the whole fucking meal. I don't understand. A tit D sounds smaller than a tit. What? Why are you dying?
Because it's like if I asked you what's the difference between a cock and a dick. And like, well, the cock is just the tip, right? No, it's the whole thing. Like the titty and a tit is all the same thing.
But I thought the tit. It's
Nope, nope,
literally the tit.
nope,
I thought the tit
nope.
was the
It's
nipple.
one out of two. A tit versus titties.
Huh.
Huh.
I've lived my whole life.
Huh.
I've lived my whole life. Wrong. Absolutely wrong. And I'm sitting here imagining a machine with just the nipple going. I was wrong.
Is it the tit or is it the whole boob? Oh fuck! This is why I'm here.
I need you. I wouldn't.
I need you.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying all the wrong things.
So I
Uh,
apologize. Go. Yeah. I have a beautiful pain tolerance when it comes to my boobs, but a lot of people don't like it at all.
that was Imagine
so
McNamee, by the
eloquently
way.
put. Yeah, no, that right. That was not my. Yeah, that was not a Chris original. That was so beautifully put, eloquently put. Like I have a beautiful pain tolerance when it comes to my boobs. That's
So,
awesome.
so do you enjoy getting a mammogram?
Like, ooh, it's mammogram time.
Like, ooh, this is a beautiful moment.
Someone, yeah, you're playing doctor at home.
Ooh.
So yeah, no, like my partner, not to keep using them as I apologize in advance for all the things I've shared thus far. But my partner enjoys some boob action, some tit action, but does not enjoy mammogram. It's about the consent aspect, I guess. But there's a pain. Yeah, and it's very cold. Yeah. Imagine McNamee writes in, it could have been warmer. Yeah, like it's a cold machine process. So, but I mean, basically, what I'm getting to with all that was, and thank God we went on that tangent. Otherwise, we would have never cleared up Steven's tit issue.
Yeah, I'm glad. I do have several issues that still need clearing up, but I'm glad that the tit issue has been handled.
So maybe imagine if you had testicles, you would like them to be squozen because you like a good boob squeeze. But by and large, like if my leg brushes my balls the wrong way, I'm not having a good time. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it's like immediately I want to vomit. It's
no, it transfers. It goes like it rests there for a minute and then goes into the stomach.
For me, it's just like it's like I really I detest the testy feeling.
Imagine asks, do men get their balls squeezed for anything medical? And if you're getting a physical by a doctor, like an actual physical examination that you need for work or anything like that, they will ask you to turn your head to the side and cough while they hold your balls.
It's more of a fondling than a squeezing, though. It's like
it's just they're holding them, like they're just they're just holding them up,
like they don't want them to fall.
Right,
they're just like, oh.
Right. And I don't know what the fuck science that does.
I think that's some like old tradition. It's just an excuse to hold balls.
Hold balls, yeah. I don't know what that does. I need to look into a book for that one.
And I that used to be the most anxiety inducing part of the whole examination thing for school and everything back in the day, because like once I hit puberty, literally everything turns me on, and so like when a man is just gently, and it's always so gentle, it's like they don't want to cause any harm or anything, they don't want anyone to get the wrong idea. As soon as they touch my balls, it's like, oh, somebody's touching my balls.
Yep.
So
I don't know why your dick sounds like a Muppet in my mind.
That's more like Mr. Bean. God. Yeah, it definitely sounds more like that.
I didn't have a physical exam until I was in my early to mid 20s.
Wow.
I never had one for school or anything because we didn't have a sports team that I signed up for.
I just had them. Like, I feel like my school just required them just in the off chance we wanted to do something.
Yeah, no. I didn't know how to go about asking for. I don't know, at the time, too embarrassed and or naive on how to ask for just a VD test, like the STD test. Like I didn't be like, hey, I'd like you to run the gamut and just test me for everything because I've been treating my dick like a goddamn, like it's Vegas. So just roll the dice and see what happens. So I didn't know how to tell a doctor that because I didn't have a doctor at the time. So I was just like, I went to the doctor's office and said, I need a physical. And they're like, for what? I'm like, because I just want one. And they're like, okay.
Oh, no.
Weird guy for you to fondle my fucking junk. And so he gets to that part and he does it. And I'm like, okay, well, that's it. I'm like, well, is that really it? Like, can I talk to you? He's like, yeah, what do you need, man? Like, why did you ask for this physical? I'm like, well, I guess I was just too embarrassed to ask for, I have never had any kind of STD test. I don't know what I've got. He's like, oh, Jesus. Okay, well then, let's find out. I was pretty clear, but let me tell you, one of the tests that isn't blood test is getting a fucking Q-tip up your dick.
What?
Yeah, I think it was for chlamydia. They were checking for that one. That or herpes, I don't know. And he took my penis. He got down on his knees and got eye level right with my dick. And he got right here.
Urethra level.
Yeah. And he had a fucking Q-tip. He looked up at me. He said, This is gonna hurt.
Oh no.
Okay. And like he stuck it in. It was a burning, awful, awful pain in my
How far?
just like I don't that much. I don't know enough to hurt real bad.
So this wasn't like just like around, like just like a slightly inside. It
It was
was
just
like
in and like so okay. It was long enough for me to wince, and I wanted to punch him. So I just grabbed his shoulder real hard because again, he's right there, dick level.
he still has marks to this day.
I'm sure, yeah, yeah. And then just coincidentally enough, like a week later or whatever, I get my results and everything's fine. But like a month after that, I was working at GameStop at the time, and he comes into GameStop, and I'm like, where do I know this guy from?
Oh no.
And then it hits me. I'm like, oh God, no! Like I just all this PTSD.
You put the Q-tip in my
Yeah.
God. That's awful.
Oh man, it was rough. Yeah.
That explains your both fascination and hatred for sounding, though.
Yeah. Well, I feel like it goes back further than that, but yes. um, Manax
Manaxra?
Manaxra writes in, I had a kidney biopsy in junior high. They don't go through your side. So biopsy being that they stuck a camera down your urethra. Oof. Did they put you out for that, or I mean, or did you just wake up with all that pain?
See, when I had my kidney biopsy, I was not awake for it. So I don't know if that's the same experience that they had, but yeah, you just kind of wake up and there's like some soreness.
Ooh, fully awake.
Oh yeah, geez, that's bad. They were fully awake.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Manaxra.
Yeah, and Imagine writes in. It sounds like a pap smear, but they scrape you instead. Yeah,
They
so
scrape you.
Yeah, they're scraping your I guess your uterine wall, or your vaginal wall. I don't know.
This is a painful episode. Like,
Yeah, medical stuff sucks.
God, we've come such a long way with medical technological advancements, and we're still shoving things in holes.
You're gonna have to shove things in holes to really find out stuff, I guess.
I
But
thought we would have like
there's gotta be a way to
Superman
make it
X-ray
feel
vision by
better.
now.
Like, give me some fucking, I don't know, give me some drugs. Give me lots of drugs.
Yeah, all the drugs.
Your cervix. They collect cells from your cervix.
God,
Huh.
what do they do with those bits of people?
Like after they're done testing them,
Yeah, do they just throw it away?
incinerate it. Yeah.
They incinerate it?
Yeah.
That's like metal. here's all these vagina bits.
Well, it's,
Throw them in the inferno.
I feel like you think that they just wait until they have enough vagina bits.
It's like a
And it's
bonfire,
just
right?
this is the vagina bit pile. No, it's just like it's the daily waste of the entire hospital.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Daily Waste. That sounds like a good band name.
The daily waste.
There was God, I can't remember what the thing was. And I'm gonna totally misremember this. I need to do some research. But basically, I was listening to this story. It was on the Moth, and this person, it actually might have been a TED Talk. So there was this thing where hospitals were collecting cells or something, and they were like storing them for science or for research, but it was like some like really important thing. And this lady was reuniting people to basically their body parts that were taken from them, and she like
Okay.
went on this like whole journey to try to reunite people. I'll have to find the story because it was interesting, but I can't remember the details. I just remember I ended up crying and it was really emotional. But right now it doesn't sound like it would be emotional because it's just weird. But
So
I
I mean,
promise it
like,
was touching.
I saw one where a guy like had his arm amputated and he got like after a long fight with the hospital, he got to have the bones of his arm back. Like, because he was still
Damn.
intact, like it was just severed. And but like they were like, no, it's biological waste. You can't have this. He's like, but it's mine. Like I came in here with it mostly, and I want it. And they're like, well, it's not safe, and blah blah. Like, well, I don't care. It's mine. Yada yada. Just through his whole rigmarole. Eventually, they just they were able to get all of the what would be biohazardous, not safe to keep stuff. They're like, here's your bones.
See, that's like really scary to me. Like that we don't own ourselves once we're removed. Like rigor mortis or roll.
Yeah, I mean, so I get it. I get both sides of the argument. I mean, yes, it is your body, and whether it's religious purposes or not, you should have access to that. Um, but a hospital's job is to keep people safe and healthy and alive. And if you give somebody fetid, rotting flesh, even though it's theirs, like you're giving somebody there's procedures you got to go through. I mean, if you've been around dead things, you know that they smell real bad, real
Yeah,
fast.
you can just shove it in a jar.
Sure, yeah, just shove it into a drawer. That's
A
a good answer.
jar, not a drawer.
They said a drawer. I'm like, what?
No,
What's wrong with you, man?
no, something that can seal, not just like I'll just put it in the dresser. Like,
Yeah, you gotta shove a little, but it's fine. Give it a little elbow grease.
literal elbow.
Yeah, well, it's not all science fictiony. Like it's still going to deteriorate in that jar, And then what do you do with it? Like when you have that?
I don't know. What does anyone do with a severed body
Right,
part?
but like if you had a skeleton, like I think the skeleton was an amenable solution. I think like unless you pay lots of money to have your shit cryogenically frozen in a tube and pay to keep that tube fucking powered, for whatever purpose, but if you have a way to preserve that,
Why can't you just like shove it in like what is it, formaldehyde or something?
I don't know. I'm not a fucking
Like those jars that you can get of like dead sharks, but it's like
sure.
it's a shark in a jar, like with the blue liquid.
Mm-hmm.
You can get something like that. Like if I got a body part cut off, I would want to keep it, and I would want to put it on a shelf. And I'd want to be like, you see that thing there? That's mine. That's me.
Right, and you busted out at Halloween parties absolutely every time.
Yeah. Or
Yeah,
any party.
or at a pap smear.
Just hey.
Hey, here's your pap smear. Happy pap smear. Here's my arm. Yeah, I mean, I would love to be all fucking mad scientist about it and just have body parts in jars and shit, but it's not safe. You can't trust. I wouldn't trust my neighbor to have their own body parts. I would know what they would do with them, like, because then what happens when they die? What happens when that shit falls into the wrong hands? When someone else's hands fall into the wrong hands?
That I don't know. There are so many ethical questions here that can be explored.
Yeah,
Like
I'm a doctor. I know sex stuff. I know sex stuff and relationship stuff. You
choking.
know what? You know what? I'm going to challenge everybody who's here in the chat tonight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We've got a challenge.
You got a challenge. Please write in for our next episode. Write in a question you have about love, sex, or relationships. Write in several.
Oh.
Please let us answer your questions.
Okay, so listeners in the chat, you can put this question in the chat right now if you wanted to, or if you want to think on it a little bit, you can send it to bemorethanfriends@gmail.com. We'll see it in our email, and that goes for audio listeners as well. If you have any question, topic, or a story that you want to share, feel free to write it in at bemorethanfriends@gmail.com.
So well put.
As I choke on my words.
Choke on something.
Ooh. Is it a severed dick in a jar?
All right. Let's go. let's walk down this terrible, terrible road.
Uh-oh.
So, someone says to you, I want you to suck my dick.
Oh no. I know where this is going.
I'm going to pay you lots of money to suck my dick.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, well, let's roadmap this. What does this look like for you?
Right.
And they're like,
what does this person's face look like?
They're very attractive.
Okay, all right.
They're the most attractive person you ever want to be with.
Oh, okay, all right.
Your ideal mate.
All right, so
they don't go
is set.
Zip. They go, and here's the dick. And it's, like it's a good, thick 9 inches. And they just, and it's soaking in some liquid.
Like a pickle jar.
Like a pickle. We will, for the hypothetical sake, we will say that this dick is safe to suck.
Okay, so
it's a liquid that is not going to poison you.
Okay.
It is, though. It was once attached to the person that that it is their penis.
Mm-hmm.
It's all sewn up. It's not going to bleed on you or anything.
Sewn up.
Well, because when you sever a dick.
Yeah. I just wasn't thinking about that. Like,
well, now you better start.
Are there still balls, or is this just
there's still balls? It's the whole thing. It's the dick and the ball. It's like a
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe there's a little wooden mount on the back to just I don't know.
like those talking fish on the wall, but it's
not like that. Not like a fucking
more like a little plaque.
No. Not,
can we make those?
Not Billy Bass. It's not. It's not.
Anyway. So what's the question here? Is it that would I?
Would you suck this dick to whatever completion this mythical person wants?
I hope it's not coming.
It's not going to come. They're going to they're going to get some sort of sexual pleasure out of watching you.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling.
Hello, my right dick. Now it has a top hat. It's like it's got a cane and everything. WB. Oh, fuck.
Thank you, Minaxra, for that. That beautiful imagery. I think I would.
Okay.
I think I would. I mean, you said it's safe to suck.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that it's severed doesn't bother me. My main concern was what liquid it was going to be in.
Sure.
Is it decently like intact? It's not like deteriorating or rotting, is it? Like, I don't want bits of old dick coming off in my mouth, I don't want like flakes of shaft.
Well, I feel like there's got to be some element of danger.
Like, okay, so I like to watch those like different travel shows where people travel and they do all kinds of weird things. What?
I don't know where this is going. Normally,
So,
I can see a progression. You've made a hard left, so
so there's this. I think it's in Alaska or something. There's a bar where they have a shot, and it's called the Dead Man's Toe shot.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually have a legitimate severed toe that they plop in this shot glass, and you take this shot, and then most people don't put the toe in their mouth because they're like, I don't want to drink this toe. But it's a tradition that after you take the shot, you pop the toe in your mouth and you bite down, and then the juices and the alcohol that was soaked up comes out. There's like a thing. I watched it on this documentary. I think it was on Netflix, and I believe it was in Alaska. It was some like colder place because it's from these toes that were like frostbitten and fell off, or that were found on bodies on this mountain, this snowy mountain. But this bar just has this shot, so it's a thing, and so that's what I'm thinking of now when I'm thinking of the severed dick. So like, if it's somehow safe for them to do this, then I would imagine it'd be a similar process for the severed dick.
I'm not calling you a liar,
It's in the document. I can find it.
but I feel like this can't be in America.
I believe it is. Hold on.
There's got to be laws against that. I don't believe that America's high and mighty and any of that bullshit, but I feel like there's laws against that.
It's in Canada. It's in Canada.
Well, I don't know what's going on with our neighbors to the north. I feel like they would have a similar set, but maybe I'm wrong.
It's called the sour toe cocktail. It's served in Yukon, Canada. That's an article from USA Today, ironically.
Well, would you do so? Would you do the shot?
I wouldn't do the shot.
You wouldn't do the shot.
I don't want like a dead person's toe, but if there's a living person with their severed dick, I feel like that's better because at least they're able to give consent. Like I don't know if that dead person wanted their toe in my mouth. Like I don't know. And
you can't speak for a dead person. You have no idea what a dead man's perspective is. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And the fact that they're dead, like this person is
you
alive.
can no longer consent. Yeah, that's fine.
Like the penis person, they're alive. They're standing in front of me. They're apparently hella attractive. They just have this one small caveat. And that is that their dick is in a jar and they want me to suck it.
Let's say they are just of average attractive level.
Mm-hmm.
They are not some dreamboat. Let's remove
then it goes into how much money.
Right. Then it becomes how ugly they are versus how much money they're willing to give.
Yeah.
I
feel like for the sake of this podcast, I would still do it.
Do it for the podcast. All right.
I feel like I'm obligated to at this point. I mean, wouldn't you?
To suck the dick?
A jar dick, a severed jar dick.
Obviously, a severed jar dick. That's what we're talking about. Yeah. So back to is it falling apart? Yeah, I could not deal with dick bits. So.
Yeah, that would be the biggest thing. Is are there bits of this flesh?
I couldn't do it. Yeah, I physically, if I feel a bit of like a leprotic, necrotic, leprosy-ridden dick that's falling apart in my mouth, I wouldn't be able to hold it together.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm going to be honest with you. The main deciding factor is going to be how intact is the dick.
Mm-hmm.
Does it look like it's like
it looks a little bloated,
decomposing?
Yeah.
It needs to be as close as possible to how it would have looked while still attached.
Now, real quick, for all of our listeners who are still tuned in right now, this is why we're asking you for questions, so we don't go down hypothetical severed dick holes, okay? So write in those questions, and we are happy to answer them. You want to let them know the email address one more time, Steve-O?
Sure. So again, if you're watching live, you can just submit them in the chat, and we will jot them down. Or if you want time to think about it, or if you're one of the audio listeners not listening live, you can email us at bemorethanfriends@gmail.com. That's BEMORETHANFRIENDS@gmail.com. A bit of a mouthful, kind of like a dick in a jar.
Man Extra writes in, enough money, I'll eat dick soup. Well, you got to go to Canada for that, bud. That's
So the toe in the shot glass, it did not look good. It looked like a decomposing thing. It was pretty nasty.
yeah. I'm not doing that.
It looked like frostbite and decomposition.
Young me's not doing that. Like, young me used to do a lot of stupid shit. I feel like I could answer that question right now, Man X.
Well, hold on. We should save it.
We'll save it. We'll save it.
Okay. So, hold on. I'm jotting this down. All right. We're going to, so any questions that are submitted, we go live on Mondays. For anyone new that's tuning in. So Monday nights, usually like 9:30 p.m.
Sometimes between 8 and 10. Yeah.
Yeah. That's when we go live on twitch.tv/morethanfriends. And then the video version goes up the next day, and the audio version goes up on Wednesdays. And the audio version is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and mtfproductions.com. You can actually download it off of mtfproductions.com, so you could do some remixes of our voices. You can, chop up the words and make us say whatever you want, really.
I didn't consent to that.
So just throwing that out there.
So yeah, your current mission is to write in your questions, comments, and concerns, but mostly questions. Also, to set a goal, a monetary goal for, and again, the monetary goal will help us to make this production better. A monetary goal to see me dressed up as Cupid.
Oh, okay.
Don't forget about that. I mean, just whatever you feel is a good, like, is it $100? Is it $500? What number do you think we should hit? It's also got to cover the expenses of buying a gigantic adult-sized diaper and a sash. And
we may have some contacts who can help us with the diaper part.
I'm sure we have. Yeah, we can get. I'm sure we can get diapers free and cheap. But it's the bow and the sash that I'm concerned about. So
yeah.
Crafting friends out there want to make a bow and an arrow and a sash, please do. We'll give you credit.
So that's a question that we're asking people, is how much they would spend to see you in a Cupid outfit.
How much? Yeah. What does 80-year-old pussy taste like? Well, it depends. So yeah, how much are you willing to spend? What do you think a good amount? And it doesn't matter. I've got no shame. $5, all right, great. But let's be reasonable.
All right. Did you want to do a post show today?
Yeah, we can do a little wrap up.
All right. Should we go ahead and do the quick little transition to the post show?
I think so. Everybody have a happy fake holiday. It's all bullshit, and love yourself more than anything else.
I'm sure a lot of people are actually loving themselves on this wonderful day.
Not just in the quick 5-minute sense, in the the grander sense of things. Sweetest Day, Valentine's Day, it's all fake. It's all bullshit, man. X. So for those of you who are uninitiated, if you're here in the chat, stay in the chat. We're just going to go away and we're going to come back. So don't fucking go anywhere. Don't fucking leave. Okay? Love you guys.
And then real fast for audio listeners, if you ever want to join us on the post show, when you tune in live at twitch.tv/morethanfriends, you just stay tuned and then you can hang out with us and we can talk about whatever. It doesn't even have to be love, sex, and relationship stuff. Sometimes Chris and I talk shop, and we come up with plans for future stuff, and we let you guys in on some of that stuff.
I don't even want, you said too much. Who knows what goes on in the after?
Oh, okay,
You
okay.
gotta be there to find out.
All right.
You'll never fucking know unless you fucking join us.
All right, audio listeners, get your
Close
shit
as
together and join us. All right. Anyways, thank you so much for listening. Love, love, love.
Love you guys.